Hey everybody, it is showtime. Welcome everyone. Welcome to Isabella Bank's YouTube channel. I'm Wizzy, and as usual, it's an absolute pleasure to be here with you this evening. Buckle up, guys, because this one is going to be juicy. So much to cover, but I'm going to try to stay within my usual time slots of 20 to 25 minutes. Okay, so shall we get started? Right. Guys, the internet streets have been on fire since Sophie's interview with Sky News. I mean, the theories have been off the charts. The Sussex Detective Agency have earned their reputation this week. I'm telling you, they have dug up everything that there is to know about Sophie. I'm sure that they have dug up things that she doesn't even know about herself. I don't know how she thought that she was going to get away with this stuff. I don't know how she thought she was going to survive it either, because the Sussex squad have shown her who is boss about this situation. And I swear I haven't seen a scandal unravel this fast since, well, maybe Harry and Meghan stepping down. This is the loudest. Like, they're always in the news, so we're used to that. But this is the loudest I have ever heard the media report on them, and in such terms as are being reported at the moment. But this one has layers. And trust me, the Sussex squad are not playing. They are peeling back all the layers, one layer at a time. First of all, shall we talk about the receipts? It turns out that Sophie's financial situation is messier than a reality TV breakup. The reports are swirling that she's knee deep in debt. Over £400,000. That's not pocket change by any stretch of the imagination, people. And then there are whispers, okay, they're more like shouts about nepotism and financial mismanagement at Sentebale. Yikes. Apparently, she paid 600,000 to consultants, and it's turning out that those consultants are her cousin and a brother or something like that. My question is, where was everybody's eyes when this 600,000 was leaving the charity account? Because from what I know about charity and charity execution of these kind of things, you need to have two signatories on a check. They usually do their accounting by check. They don't even do bank transfers. So I don't know how this 600,000 left the charity's bank account. Who signed who this usually requires two signatories on the check. So who was the second signatory on this £600,000 check? Anyway, there is more. um a lot more has been dug up. I told you guys that the Sussex Squad Detective Agency has been busy. Sophie has now deleted her Twitter and Instagram accounts. Yep, you heard that right. I think she was looking at the comments and she wasn't seeing what she was expecting to see. I think she was not seeing what she expected to see at all. So she has checked out of social media for the moment. And I checked it myself. It's true. She's not on Twitter or Instagram. So this isn't just some conspiracy theory. The woman has vanished from social media faster than the royal aides leaking a story to the tabloids. And it goes on. So, as if that was not enough, her Wikipedia page is reportedly getting a major cleanup. They are scrubbing any mention of her involvement with past hostile takeovers. Coincidence? I think not. I think not. I think not at all. If she was so proud of her previous history of taking over companies, like doing carrying out hostile takeovers. She would have left that history on her Wikipedia page, but she has scrubbed that information off from there. Now, before I go any further into this conversation, this story, let me just say that I was actually holding back on covering this drama. I mean, I was expecting that we would hear directly from Prince Harry or at least see some legal action before I jump into the deep end. But the revelations about Sophie are coming thick and fast. So I don't think I can wait for Prince Harry any longer. I need to report on what is happening. At least if we are reporting on the shortcomings of Sophie, it then begins to reduce the impact that her Sky News interview did to his reputation. Because let's be real, it did make some impact and is going to have to work his way out. But of course, they're not going to be able to come out to tell us, don't worry, we've got it. We are doing X, Y, Z or the other behind the scenes. But they are stronger than me, they are stronger than I am. Mm. To be able to be quiet, to not have to not say anything when they are being called everything but the child of God. Honestly, this is why they say that wealthy people are mentally, you have to be mentally strong to be wealthy, because everything is going to come at you for many reasons. Some people are just jealous, envious, and some people have Schadenfreude. They're never going to be as wealthy as you are, but they're so happy when you go down because they're just like, yeah, look at you thinking that you know everything. Good for you that you're going down. Meanwhile, you never did anything to these people. Anyway, the revelations about Sophie keep dropping like an album release on streaming day. And yeah, I'm kind of here for it because it is helping while we're waiting for Harry and Meghan to make their move. Um, of course, I know that they're working behind the scenes, but this is me just explaining the reason why I've kind of been quiet since last week about it. And to be fair, to be honest, on Saturday, I was going to come on to talk about it, but I didn't just want to come here and regurgitate everything she said on the interview. That would be spreading her message. So I was waiting for something more to come up. And now that we're hearing more and more about her background, her history, I'm thinking, okay, I can talk about this. And luckily, tomorrow is going to be the launch of As Ever products. So we have that to look forward to. But yeah, that's the reason behind my silence. Thanks to everybody who was sending me messages asking, where are you? We haven't heard from you on this matter. No, I've just been quietly watching behind the scenes. I just didn't want to add to the cacophony of people who were spreading this evil woman's message. Anyway, that said, I refuse to let this whole mess distract us from Megan's latest business venture. As I said just now, As Ever products are going to be launching tomorrow. And I think my girl needs cheering up. So I've got my wallet out ready to spend something on one of the products. I haven't checked to see whether the items are going to be available here in the UK. I would not be pleased if it's not going to be available in the UK, where all of you are going to be enjoying Megan's products and I'm not going to have anything. That's not going to be good. That's not going to be good. I'm not going to like that. But my wallet is ready. I am ready to buy something. So yes. She Megan is out here, ignoring the noise, just carrying on with the deployment of the launch of As Ever products, and I love it. I love it. I love it. It would have been unprofessional for her to halt it just because of all of this. And I know she tries to be sensitive to the prevailing current affairs, But this is just not something I think she could halt. And I don't even think it would be a good reason to stop whatever it is that she was doing. And she's got a lot coming up as well. On the 4th, we're expecting the launch of Confessions of a Female Founder. So she's got to focus on, what she's doing. That being said, Megan is thriving. She is walking and she is pushing, and I am here to help her push. Yeah, I am here to help her push. But let's get back to the other story, shall we? But before we do, if this is your first time on this channel, go ahead, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and leave your thoughts in the comment section below. I would really love to hear from you. If you have visited before but you haven't yet subscribed, what are going? What are you waiting on? Go on, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. And if you're one of those who listen but you don't make any comment, come out of your shell and leave a comment. Don't worry, we don't bite over here. To all those people who have been supporting me from day one and who have been supporting me even after, thank you so much. Your encouragement keeps me going. You don't even know how much your encouragement does keep me going. So hit yeah, leave your comments in the comment section. Talk to me. Don't Let's make it a two-way street. Um Rather than just a one-way where I'm talking and talking and talking and you guys are not talking back to me. Anyway, going back to the story of Sophie and this her reckless pursuit, I think somebody spoke to her. They've built her up and built her up, and she thought, yeah, I'll risk it. And I think she's slowly beginning to realize it hasn't sunk all the way in yet, but she's going to realize that she has bitten off more than she can chew. Because even before the realization has hit her, we already have the British media, yes, the same British media who have been propping her up, that always have something negative to say about Harry and Meghan. Now they're going after her. Yep. Now they're going after her because charity boss accused of playing the race card in Prince Harry row. The Telegraph straight up called her a poisonous woman in this article. Let that sink in for a moment. The Telegraph is where Camilla Tominey works, and they are calling her a poisonous woman. So I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute. Wait a goddamn minute. Wagwan, what's going on here? The British press usually back anyone who is anti Harry and Meghan, right? We always see them. Meghan's father, Meghan's sister, anybody who has anything negative to say about Harry and Meghan will find a home in the British media. How come the British media are now writing what would seem to be, appear to be, on the surface, look like it is an article which is shock, surprise, if not positive, then at least neutral towards Harry? That's a shock. Well, I'm thinking to myself that they are anticipating that there's going to be a lawsuit. This is what I'm thinking. Because the two papers, that's the Daily Mail, who have been writing crap about Harry and Meghan all day, especially since this matter broke. They have been they are in direct conflict with the Telegraph, and we both know that these two papers usually walk in tandem. Their narratives are usually in sync when it comes to spinning royal narratives. But this time, they seem to be directly clashing. So it will be interesting to know exactly what happened. But I suspect that they're anticipating that a lawsuit is on the horizon because they have I think, of course, any reasonable thinking person, any person who has been casually observing how Harry and Meghan move, know that they only respond to things when their businesses have been affected or are likely to be impacted. So it only makes sense, actually, that Harry and Meghan would respond to this legally rather than engaging in a tit for tat, almost fishwife quarrel on social media as Sophie wants. Out of in this whole thing, it's the absolute lack of respect that Sophie has for Harry that is my own thing. It's the absolute lack of respect that she has. Well, according to the Telegraph, one of the trustees spilled the tea. They said that whenever Sophie doesn't get her way, she plays the race card. Yep, you heard that right. Apparently, after the major sponsor pulled out from the annual Sentebale Polo Club, the board wanted answers. But instead of taking responsibility, Sophie allegedly accused the trustees of bullying her. Now, here's my question. And this is I think there's so much going on that people are not even, people are glossing over this major question. What was the clash between Sophie and the sponsor? How did you lose the organization's major sponsor? Because nobody seems to be asking that question. Sponsors don't just wake up one morning and decide, you know what, let's be petty and cut ties. Something must have happened. Why are we not getting that story? I suspect that the backstory to what happened with the sponsors is going to come up in whatever Prince Harry um, is going to be saying when he responds to all of this that has been happening. And get this, the same Telegraph source claims that the only reason Sophie became chair of Sentebale in the first place was because she pressured her way in. Allegedly, she was brought in to help with the recruitment process for the next chair when the chair who she replaced was going. But when she realized that she wasn't being considered for the role herself, she flipped the script. She suddenly began to imply lawsuits, and there were implied threats of legal action and all of this. And then I think the board or the recruitment, it must have been the board, they were worried about the threat of legal action. And then the next thing you know, Sophie found herself on the short list. This was most likely the board clearly trying to avoid a lawsuit. And then after the interview, which she performed excellently at, they gave her the job. Red flags, anyone? There were so many. That's the red flag there. Before she got the job, she was already threatening lawsuits. And then you still let her have the job. I don't know who it is that made that decision, but that person is the one who has put Sentebale in this position where they are now. And the person who was supposed to check her background but didn't check it is the person. So I think that Prince Harry has many people to sue for this mess that he's suddenly found him, this situation that he suddenly found himself in at the moment. Um, at the end of the day, one thing is clear. Sophie Chandauka is making headlines for all the wrong reasons. Obviously, she is being comforted by the fact that she will get backup from who, who knows where. I'm not going to repeat it because I don't want a lawsuit myself, but obviously she is getting backup from someplace. And while this mess play is playing out, because obviously we know that they want to tell what Meghan is doing. Meghan, by the way, I think she's become so used to this environment that she's in. She is literally just minding her business. She is just minding her business. and she's just minding her business. And the British media might be flipping on Sophie, but trust me, I am going to be doing a deep dive into the requirements of what it takes of the governance of a charity commission, basically. So answer all the various questions. What are the requirements and so on. And then I'll come back to report to you guys. Uh, if I don't know whether they make the findings of the charity commission investigation public, but I will be looking and following that up as well. Because um it's going to this is not a short-term crisis. Um it's going to play out because Prince Harry is going to want to obviously clear his name, and uh, there are legalities to be observed in this situation. But my this is my opinion, and we are allowed to have opinions. My opinion is that it is likely she was caught doing something, and instead of her to just, step down as had been requested, she was afraid to step down because the records of what she has done would then be made public. So it's more like the person who has offended being the aggressor in this situation. Otherwise, there's no point in staying in a place where you're clearly not wanted. Nobody wants you there, and then you insist that you're going to be there. In fact, it's the most ridiculous situation I have seen in the 21st century, where everyone resigns and leaves you in a place, and then you insist that you want to be in the party, and then you bring your own people to fill up the space of the people who left you at the party. Isn't that the most ridiculous thing? It is the most ridiculous thing. um, Before I head up for the day, let me have a look at your comments. Lorna, hi Derek Jackson, how you? Hi Lakiva, hi Julie, thanks for being here. Hi Gwen, how you? Uh, oh, Julie says, what were Angela and her puppy talking about today? They were twisting Martha Stewart's compliment to Meghan. Of course they would. Of course they would. Toots say, how can she steal a charity? She was an unpaid person that the board fired. If she can steal the charity, why can't Harry? I'm going to look into all of these questions. And when I do the deep dive into what the Charity Commission's requirements for governance are, just to give me um, a frame of reference so that when Prince Harry's response eventually comes, I will be able to interpret it to you guys properly the way I did for Prince Harry's visa case. TNO says Prince We is using the Grifter and Rawlinses as proxies. There is more going on. We'll find out soon enough. Do you know the amount of speculation though going on is it's crazy. This is also the reason why I didn't want to say anything before now, just because I didn't want to be repeating some of the more outlandish stuff. Little Max says, why does she think she can change the charity's mission from? This is the big one for me. If you are in a place and you find out that you don't like what they're doing, isn't the normal reaction for you to go away from the place rather than for you to drive everybody out of the place so that you can impose your own objectives in the charity? And she seems to think that that's what she, as chair, is able to do. I was on a space, like the Twitter community group where people are able to discuss. And we had people from Lesotho explaining that while she is correct that the HIV is no longer a death sentence, but it is no longer a death sentence because of the work that Sentebale does in terms of making sure that the medical facilities, the drugs necessary to take care of the people are made available, the management of the various crises and the outbreaks in the region are covered. So when the USAID, that is the American aid, has been blocked now by Donald Trump, so that these impoverished areas that don't have access to the um, AIDS drugs or the HIV drugs, that means that there will be an increase in the amount of people who don't survive now. There will be a shortage of the drugs required to reduce the rate of infection in the area. That was already going to be a prediction with the reduction or withdrawal of USAID from Lesotho. And then now you think about taking Sentebale away, which means that it's going to create, they're going to go back to square one, which they have just brought themselves out of. The people, they are very, very upset. And very upset that this has happened to their princess who they hold in high regard, and Prince Harry, their adopted son. They're very, very, very upset. And so the people suggested, we're trying to suggest things that they could do, which is to bring people on to actually give testimony. But as with all third world countries, they're a bit scared about coming onto social media to talk about this because they're afraid of retaliation from the West. But I think a lot of people are going to go into the area and talk to the journalists and get them to cover as much as this, because as much as this charity is to take care of the people in Lesotho, have you guys realized that we're only hearing from the British media, where we should be hearing from the people of Lesotho, right? um, that wench deserves what she gets. Hi, Lottie. Uh, that's why she's been trying to get Harry to love her. All Harry had to do was make a pass at her, but he didn't, so she got mad at Meghan. Just imagine Just imagine being upset that Meghan attended your charity event. All charities would have loved the kind of exposure that Meghan herself would bring to their charity if she decided to attend their charitable event. And not only that, she did your charity a favor by bringing her very famous friend, aka Serena Williams, to your event. And that's annoyed you somehow? That is gold. If those people weren't there, I don't think 90% of the people who knew that your charitable event was happening, that they would have known about it. So really, are you really the best person to be the chair of that event? Because you seem to have your priorities misplaced. Every exposure is good exposure. You should have. So now you've done this. What do you think is going to happen? Because we all know that Serena is a heavy hitter herself. So where are you going to go? And she is into the investment world, and these investors are the same people you want to go to for charitable donations. So tell me how that is going to work. Anyway, so guys, tell me, what do you think? Will Sophie's past catch up with her? Um, do you think Why do you think that Telegraph and the Daily Mail are suddenly on opposite sides? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, guys. That's all I have for today's video as we wait for um, Prince Harry and Princess to respond to this debacle. And as we wait for the launch of the As Ever products tomorrow. Listen, I think I have to tell all of you now, don't buy more than one thing of any of her products because you have to leave some for some of us. Some of you, whenever Megan drops anything, you just go onto the website and clear everything before we even have the opportunity to click onto the website. Stop it. Stop it. Oh, all right, guys. So I will speak to you again tomorrow. Obviously, Megan's going to be launching her products tomorrow, so I'm going to be out here promoting her. If you haven't already done so, hit the like button and leave a comment in the comment section. Love you to the moon and back. That's all I have. Ciao.